Today, we're diving into something pretty incredible when you stop to think about it. How a company like Meta can stream a massive live event to millions of people all at the same time without it, completely falling apart. We're pulling our insights from an article by Engineering at Meta, and it really peels back the curtain on the insane complexity of it all. So let's start with a number, 7.2 million. What is that? Well, that was the peak number of people watching the USE Champions League final at the exact same moment on Facebook Live. I mean, that's basically the entire population of Hong Kong all hitting play at the same second. The engineering required to handle that, it's just staggering.
And this right here, this quote is the guiding star for everything they do. The overall system is only as reliable as its weakest component. That isn't just a nice little saying. For the engineers at Meta, it's the law. Every single link in the chain, from the camera at the event all the way to the screen on your phone, has to be completely bulletproof. Because if just one link breaks, millions of people get that dreaded buffering wheel instead of seeing the winning goal.
So here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the big picture, the core challenge. Then we'll literally follow the signal on its journey, how it gets into Meta's system, how it gets sent out to everybody, and the final hurdle it has to clear to reach your device. And we'll wrap up with a really key takeaway on what scale actually means to an engineer. First things first, we've got to understand this fundamental conflict. See, we all have our expectations set by decades of broadcast TV, right? We expect a perfect picture, perfect sound, zero interruptions. But we're trying to get that experience over the internet, which is, let's be honest, a chaotic, shared, and totally unpredictable network. Trying to deliver TV-level quality on internet infrastructure, that is the central problem they have to solve. And this really lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got broadcast TV. Think of it like a private guarded superhighway built for one purpose. It has its own dedicated paths and guaranteed bandwidth. Then on the right, you have internet streaming. That's more like trying to drive through a major city during rush hour. It's a public space, network conditions are all over the place, and there's a constant risk of traffic jams, which for us, of course, means buffering.
Okay, so if the public internet is just too risky and chaotic, how in the world do you get that flawless broadcast feed from the stadium into your own system? This is the first critical step, what engineers call the ingestion problem.
The best way to think about it is like a VIP arriving at a massive concert. You're not going to make them sit in the same traffic as everyone else, right? No way. You give them a police escort and clear out private roads just for them. And that is exactly what Meta does for the video feed. They use private fiber optic lines and satellite links to completely bypass the public internet for this crucial first step. And the process is broken down into 4 key steps. First, they connect directly to the broadcast facility. Second, they use multiple, diverse private links. So think different fiber cables taking totally different physical routes, plus a satellite link as a backup to the backup. Third, they're pulling in both a mainstream and a backup stream at the very same time. And finally, number 4, if that mainstream has even a tiny hiccup, the system just instantly and automatically switches to the backup. It's all about redundancy. Okay, so the signal is safely inside Meta's network. Now comes the next challenge, which is maybe even bigger. Sending it back out. And we're not talking about a little trickle of data. This is a flood. How do you deliver one stream to over 7 million people all at once without the entire system just buckling under the pressure?
Well, this leads us to a classic problem in computer science known as the thundering herd problem. Here's the analogy. Imagine one single food truck trying to serve an entire stadium the second the game ends. Everyone rushes it at the exact same moment, and the truck is just, boom, instantly overwhelmed. It's the same thing with servers. If millions of phones all ask the main server for the video at the same time, that server is going to crash. Hard.
So, how do you do it? How do you stop millions of simultaneous requests from taking down your servers? How do you serve that entire stadium without the whole system collapsing? This is the real heart of the delivery challenge.
Meta's solution has a few different layers. They use a clever technique called request coalescing. It's kind of like having one person go up to the food truck and place a single massive order for 100 people behind them. So instead of a million requests hitting the server, they get bundled together into way fewer. They also use something called cache sharding, which is like setting up hundreds of smaller, identical food trucks all around the city. It spreads the load out. But a huge piece of the puzzle is working directly with internet service providers, ISPs, to put copies of the video as close to you, the viewer, as physically possible.
And there's a great real-world example of this in the source material from Rio de Janeiro.
Meta noticed that during big live events, the connection between their own network and a major internet provider in the city was becoming a serious bottleneck, and it was messing up the experience for viewers there.
So what they do? They got ahead of the problem. They proactively worked with that ISP to increase their direct connection capacity by 6 times, from 20 gigabits per second all the way up to 120. And the result was huge. Almost all the video traffic for those viewers stayed inside their local network and never had to go out over congested international internet routes. This made the stream way better for viewers, and it actually lowered costs for the ISP. It was a total win-win.
All right, so the signal's in. It's been delivered to your local internet provider. We are so close. But there's one last really tricky part of this journey that's mostly outside of Meta's direct control. It's called the last mile.
And we're talking specifically about cellular networks. You know this feeling? If you're in a packed stadium or at a concert and everyone tries to use their phone, your connection just grinds to a halt. That's because a single cell tower only has so much radio bandwidth to go around. So when thousands of people connected to that one tower all try to stream the same HD video, that tower, it becomes the new weakest component.
So what can you do about it? Well, Meta is looking ahead. They're exploring technologies like LTE broadcast, which is really cool. It would let a cell tower send just one copy of the stream that everyone connected to it can share instead of a separate stream for every single person. And beyond that, they're investing in the fundamental guts of the internet, building things like new submarine cables and putting servers in more places to make the path the data has to travel shorter.
So let's zoom out. From a high-level engineering perspective, what's the big lesson here? The main takeaway is that scaling isn't just one problem. The challenges you face are completely different depending on what kind of event you're dealing with.
And this comparison from the article is just brilliant. The UEFA final is a one-to-many problem. You have one stream going out to millions of people. So the challenge is all about massive delivery and caching. But now think about New Year's Eve. That is the complete opposite. It's a many-to-many problem. You have millions of people all starting their own unique live streams at the stroke of midnight. Here, the challenge shifts entirely to massive ingestion and processing. They're both scale problems, but they require totally different engineering solutions.
So it all boils down to a few key principles. First, build redundancy into absolutely everything. Second, scale up your infrastructure proactively, before the event even starts. Third, you have to build deep partnerships with the ISPs. And finally, you have to treat that one single massive broadcast with the same level of care and importance as you treat your entire platform. And that brings us to a final question to chew on. As the big data centers and the core of the internet just keep getting more and more powerful, has the real fight for a perfect, buffer-free stream now moved to the edges of the network, that final, difficult connection from the local exchange to our phones and laptops? It really seems like the biggest challenges left to solve are happening right in our own neighborhoods.